Hello! In this tutorial I just want to show you how you can create a question collection on oodlü. That's the whole kind of premise behind oodlü, is that you create or search for question collections which you can then set to your students to play in any of the oodlü games, whether those be individual games on the desktop or mobile devices, or whether they be whole class games. It's all the same principle. You basically just create question collections and then set them to students. So I'm going to show you how that works now. It's nice and easy. Here we are at the dashboard. If I click on content and games, that takes us to my games list. All the list items here are just kind of temporary ones because it's my local machine, so ignore the crazy titles. Then you just click on create question collection at the top right hand side here and you give it a name. So let's call this one Cities of the World. Okay, and then I'm going to click on continue, and that then creates me my question collection, and that's ready. So this is a question collection is basically a quiz, or you might call it, or a set of questions that you can then set in one go to your students. So let's have a look in here. This is the basic editing interface. So you've got it says you don't have any questions yet because obviously you haven't added any, and there's a nice big create question button there. At the top right hand side here you've got settings for the question collection if you click on these, and you can also set them to the group there. Set the question collection to a group there. If you click on that, it brings up my groups and tells me that I can set that question collection. You've got question references. So these question references are images and so on that you might be able to, images and video and text and audio, which you can attach to questions, and basically you just upload those, and there are other tutorials on that. And if you're a premium user, you get to use tags to tag your questions so you can organize them as well. And then finally you've got slides that you can add to them. So you've got collections of slides that you can add. So these are images basically that you can use to teach with as well. Sort of overall reference images that they display as slides, as you might imagine. But right now let's just add some questions because this is the most important part. Let's click on create question, and you'll notice that we support quite a few different question types in oodlü, and we'll be adding more to these as time goes on. So we've got matching pairs, click the missing words, flashcard statements, textual multiple choice, true or false, image multiple choice, listen to the word, type the translation, sequencing, and type the missing word. As I say, we'll be adding to this as time goes on to give you more and more powerful options. To start with, let's just start with a simple true and false because this is about as easy as it gets. So click on create next to that, and here you'll notice that it now gives you an option to input your statement. So let's say cats are fluffy. This is just silly stuff in here, but obviously you'd put a more sensible question in here. And then you've got the option to set that statement to being either true or false. Well, cats are pretty fluffy, so I'm going to give that. I'm going to put that there. And then here you've got the option to put some question feedback. Do cats have soft fur? Okay, and so this is the kind of feedback that's going to happen when playing in formative mode. So there are two modes on oodlü. You've got formative, which is kind of to help them to learn, and that will show them ultimately. They show them the answer, so it guides them to giving the correct answer. And then you've got summative. If you're a premium user, you've got summative as well, and that is more to test them. So that will won't show them any of the feedback. And then if you wish to, you can click on this information about how we use feedback as well in there. But basically that's it. You've set up your question now, and if I click on save, it will save it, and there it is. There's my question. Let's create another one. Let's actually, this was meant to be let's use text multiple choice now. This was meant to be cities of the world, so let's do where is Paris? Well, that's in France, it's not in Spain, it's not in London, and it's not in Italy. So that will be a multiple choice. So here we've got question, correct answer, incorrect answers, plural. I can click on save. That's added that one. And then let's say we add a what should we add here? Well, let's just do another text multiple choice just for the sake of it. Where is Berlin? Well, that would be in Germany. So you have to type that one. It's not in Spain. It's not in London. Okay, and I can click on save, and that adds that. So now we've got these three questions, and if I want to, I can reorder these. The order doesn't actually particularly matter unless you're playing in a whole class game, because then they are delivered in order. But if you're playing a if the kids are playing the individual games, then the order is dynamic. It dynamically generates the questions and dynamically delivers the questions and dynamically orders them as well based on performance. So if you wish to, you can preview the questions. So let's do this one. Here you go. Where is Berlin? There you go. There's the multiple choice question, and here is the true or false question. And that's pretty much it. You then go to the most important thing now that you can do here is to set your question collection to your students, and you do that, as I say, by going to question collection and set to group, where your groups will appear if you have any. Of course, if you don't have any groups to start with, because you've just set up, then there would be nothing in this list. So just briefly to deal with that, to create groups, you go to manage groups, you go to create a group, you enter your group name there, and then it will appear in that list that I just showed you. Anyway, hopefully that's good, and thanks very much.